This is your sign to go all in. All right, today's the day. All right, I'm going to be mentioning 7 things in this video that's going to help guide your mentality towards giving it your all. And I want to quickly mention that this video is targeted towards people who want to improve their football or aspire to become footballers. All right, but it can apply to any athlete who's obviously trying to improve themselves or even life as well. All right, so just stay through to the end and you'll be shocked with the last point. All right, so the first thing I want to mention is basically I want to motivate you a little bit. All right, and the thing is, if you're going to give it your all, you have to understand where you come from. All right, me personally, I'm from Nigeria, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't take like pride in your country. Like obviously you're happy from where you're from, but like if you really know where you're from and how you were raised and how you came up, you know, just not just from your country, but from your parents, the people around you who are supporting you throughout life. If you have that sort of motivation, all right, deep inside you, right, it's easier for you to like, you don't need excuses. It's easier for you to build that discipline towards building yourself and giving it your all. Do you know what I'm saying? Just putting all the chips on the table and like, yes, this is it. All right, but most people don't channel that sort of motivation. They look for quick dopamine hits from like motivational videos on YouTube and thinking that's going to sustain them throughout a lifetime. No, you know, you need to look within yourself. All right, understand like, you know, my parents literally invested money on me towards like developing myself. In this case, in this video, if you're playing soccer and your parents support you all the time, you know, your parents literally put a lot of money into hoping you become the best version of yourself when you're playing, all right? Hoping that you can become, hoping that you're happy, hoping that you can basically play your best and secure your dream, basically, right? And a lot of people don't look at that. They just focus on themselves, right? If you understand, you know, the sort of legacy your parents are trying to leave for you, right? Use that as motivation. If you look at, if your country is struggling, all right, look at yourself as a way to possibly represent your country where people can look up, people from your country can look up to you and be like, yes, I want to be like this guy. It's not impossible. He used to live, in my case, I used to live in Nigeria, right? So the people can probably look at me and be like, yeah, I live in Nigeria now and he used to live in Nigeria. That could be me one day. All I have to do is work hard. All I have to do is give it my all. You know, you could be that guy, all right, or girl, right? But you need to look within. Okay, you need to look within yourself, right? And part of this motivation is also looking at people that you aspire to be, right? So role models, right? People who already made a legacy for themselves, legends, right? In the game, for example, with football, right? People like Ronaldo, for example, when I was younger, used to motivate me, right? Messi, I used to analyze their games a lot. So I don't need motivation from like YouTube or any like quick dopamine hits. No, you know, all I know is every day I had the goal of trying to be like Ronaldo or be like Messi, trying to score goals like them, trying to mimic their traits or abilities, you know. That was my goal. So I didn't need to look within. I got up every day and I was able to train. All right. You have to give it your all. All right. If you're seeing this video right now, you have to give it your all. Find a reason that motivates you deep within you, not just external motivation. All right. The second part I want to mention is if you're trying to aspire to become a footballer, most likely you're young, you know, you're probably between the ages 12 to, I'll say 21, you know, but during this period, you're also in school, all right? And you have to be able to like balance academics with football or soccer, all right? And the fact is, some of you guys may be complaining like, oh, like how do I do this? How do I give my all when I'm doing academics? Or how can I do my best when academics is weighing me down? Do you know what I'm saying? Guys, go all in. Part of going all in is understanding that you have baggage to carry, all right? And you have responsibilities, all right? In life, when you're older, right? If it's not academics, it could be kids, it could be whatever. Stop with the excuses, all right? Give it your all right? You know you want soccer to succeed, then try and boost your academics as much as possible. No one's saying you have to be the best student in your class necessarily. If you can, absolutely do that, you know, but if you can't, at least make sure it's respectable. All right. At the same time, make sure your soccer level doesn't drop. At the same time, make sure you're training every day. Don't be distracted by people who are trying to take you off your purpose. All right. Focus on what you need to do. You have a goal. All right. Give it your all. Okay. And basically that involves time management. All right, you have to be able to manage your time properly. You have to be able to effectively plan everything you're doing. All right, and setting things as priority over certain things, right? So I'm going to be honest with you. If you have a relationship with a girl, whatnot, or vice versa, or I don't know, yes, you have to be able to set time for them, but at the same time, unfortunately, to put this harshly, right, because you have a goal to achieve, right, they're gonna have to take a back seat, right? That's the fact. They're gonna have to take a back seat because if you're going to achieve your goal, you can't afford to give them all the time and attention you have. No, all that time and attention you're putting on them, hours upon hours, that could be easily applied to your vision, your purpose. All right, so don't be slacking and just do what you have to do. All right, now that's not saying you can't have a relationship, but just understand how to prioritize certain things over certain things. All right, and most importantly, if I go to the next point, you need to seek a support system, right? Have people around you that are constantly supporting you. You know what they say, like, if you're by yourself, you can go far, or if you're together with some people, you can go even farther, something like that. There's a saying like that. I'm butchering it, but the point is, you can go far alone, but you can go even further with other people, right? And you need to make sure you have that support system, even if it's just one person, someone who can see your vision, someone who can help give you a reason of why you're doing this, someone who can keep motivating you in case there are dark times, right? Because guys, let's be honest, it's very easy to have mental health problems, doing everything alone, getting depressed, not having enough friends. These are all things that can easily affect you giving it your all. And remember, you want to be able to give it your all, no matter what, every day, as much as possible until you achieve your goal. All right, so guys, go all in, build a support system, and you'll be able to make it further. Okay, so the next point I want to mention is basically building a champion's mindset. That's number 3. Okay, a champion's mindset is not, people think they have a champion's mindset. I remember when I was younger, right, I used to think I had a champion's mindset, because I had the goal, which was good. I had a goal, but truth is I wasn't doing all the necessary things possible to achieve that goal. All right, today I feel like I am, right, but at the same time, I didn't understand back then that I wasn't doing enough, even though I felt like I was doing enough. All right, but a champion's mindset, guys, all right, self-belief and confidence. All right, that's the number one thing, right? You need to have confidence, absolute confidence in yourself, even when things are bad, even when things are not going your way. There should be no doubt in your mind that you're gonna make it, right? That's how. If you ask yourself, have you ever doubted yourself in the middle of certain situations? If you have, then you don't have complete confidence in yourself, which is bad. Look within yourself and ask yourself why. All right, and part of that reason is probably, because you're not training hard enough, right? You're not doing the right things to help your mental health. You're not doing the right things to help your physical health, to be able to play your best, right? And guys, you need to be able to develop that champion's mindset, right? Another thing too is you guys have to be able to adapt, all right? Yes, some things don't go your way sometimes. Learn to adapt. Look at it as a challenge. Look at it as motivation. Like, yes, I'm going to use it as a challenge. Yes, I didn't expect this at all, but I'm going to look at it as a challenge and just try and go through that hurdle anyway, because this is what life has presented me with. So that's what I'm going to do, right? And guys, you also need to do things like focus, mental preparation, because I'm not going to mention physical preparation because, you should already know you should be doing those things, training hard and stuff like that. But most people don't even think about preparing mentally, right? Mental preparation is just as important as physical preparation. All right, you could easily grow your mindset. Imagine, if you don't train for like 6 months, for instance, right? But you mentally think you're that guy. You mentally think that, you can still play the same way you've played before. You mentally think that, you can do whatever you want, right? There's still a good chance you play well if you're to play again after 6 months. See what I'm saying? Now, would you be your best? No. But people will still think like, oh yeah, this guy's actually kind of good or whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? Because your mentality is there, bro. So you need to make sure you have that mental. You need to have that mental focus. That's what I'm trying to say, right? You need to mentally prepare. You need to be able to focus on certain things, and guys, it'll take your game to the next level. Okay, so make sure you always. Another thing is you also need to make sure you always continue learning and growing. This is very important because Don't think you know everything. Even me right now, I don't know everything, right? But there's some things that have led me up until this point for me to be able to make this video, right? And try and motivate the people watching this video right now, right? And that just comes from continuous learning and growing, all right? So, if you're not willing to learn, you're not going to grow. It's that simple, right? And everybody is always learning. Even if you can't have all the knowledge in the world, you're always learning. There's some things you're just gonna have to learn, whether from experience or from people telling you. For example, like right now, So guys, open your mind to learning, and don't be hard-headed and stubborn, and you definitely develop that champion's mindset I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some practical steps if you guys are interested real quick. Just run through it, something I wrote. All right, but you need to set clear goals to help, develop this mindset. Set clear goals. All right, it shouldn't be wishy-washy. It should actually be practical steps. For example, this year I said for this channel, before my goals were like this, I'm gonna develop 1,000 subscribers, right? And for this, I'm going to develop 1,000 subscribers and hopefully have some watch time hours. Okay, but I realized that I can't force people to subscribe. Okay, I can't force people to subscribe to what I'm doing. All right, so I now realize, okay, how about I create 500 videos instead of setting 1,000 subscribers? That's the mindset. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so again, another practical step is you have to do positive self-talk. All right, guys, talk positively to yourself. Try and motivate yourself. Try to understand, like, okay, I can do whatever I set my mind to. Things like that. Okay, get feedback from other people as well. There's nothing wrong with constructive criticism. Don't think, okay, because you're confident in yourself and you're training every day and stuff like that, that you're the best and whatnot. It's true, you could be the best or whatnot, but always look for feedback, whether good or bad. All right, look for both, right? So that you can understand how to improve that side of yourself. Fourth thing I want to mention is injury prevention and management. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not taking care of your body, you're never gonna go as far as you like. Like for me, this was my biggest mistake when I was younger. All right, I'll train hard, I'll do everything, but I'll hit stretching before practice. And even if I'll stretch, I'll do a little bit of a stretch, like 5 minutes, lazy stuff. And then after practice, I'm not gonna do a cool down. Like, why would I do that? I'm done, But these are the things you need to do to keep your body in tip-top shape, right? So proper warm-ups and cool-down routines, very important, right? Google online, try and find like something solid, right? Whether it's 10, 15 minutes, but like it's actually quality, right? The quality matters. Don't just say, oh, because I do 30 minutes, it's good. No, the quality matters of what you're doing, right? Try and aim for that flexibility so your muscles and everything are built properly, right? Look for cool-down routines, that can actually help. These are little things. It may seem excessive, but if you want to go all in, if you want to be able to, because you can say you're going all in and fail, right? But if you really want to go all in, you have to be able to achieve your goals, actually. So don't slack on this, right? Do strength and conditioning training. Go to the actual gym. In this case with soccer, most people neglect the gym side, or they do a little bit of gym work. They're not consistent with it. Guys, please be consistent with this, right? So that you can actually take your game to the next level, right? And it also helps build us, like, it also kind of makes people respect you if you're kind of built to. So don't slack on this for sure, And yes, guys, make sure you're also resting and recovering properly. Okay, a lot of guys neglect the rest and recovery part too because, they're in a rush to keep pushing themselves, keep improving, but rest mentally, rest physically, so that you're able to give it your all again the next week, the next day, you're able to go again. Because if you burn out, like, it's never going to work for you. Right, you're always gonna fail. All right, so guys, look into that. Okay, so also think about things like nutrition, guys. Very important you take care of your diet. Most guys neglect the diet part. They're eating things like McDonald's, pizza regularly. And if you eat it once in a while, that's fine. All right, but your nutrition basically helps your mental and physical health. Right, so take care of your body. Take care of what you're eating inside your body, right? Because if you're not eating the right things, it can affect you easily. Okay, and that's the last thing you want. You need to go all in. You need to be mentally there. Practice things like fasting, practice things like, tracking your calories, things like that, guys. It will help you to be able to give it your all, because you're focused and you're in sync with your mind and body, right? Which is very important. Okay, so the next thing I want to mention is using social media and networking, guys. It doesn't matter whether it's soccer or whatever you're trying to do, right? Guys, in today's world, you have to be able to leverage social media, right? And be able to build a network as well. All right, so the fact of the matter is social media is taking over everything. All right, so if you're not using it to be able to help you achieve your goal, then I'm afraid then you're probably going to fail, right? And social media is not just, be careful with social media, right? That's this is what I'm saying. Be careful with social media, because you also want to make sure you're not consuming content all the time. You're the one producing content, all right? Because it's very easy to get on social media and then you can get distracted easily. Remember, guys, you want to give it your all. You want to be all the way there. You cannot afford to be slacking, all right? You need to be able to say, I'm going all in. These are my chips, and I'm going to be producing content, over and over again, right? That is it, right? So make sure you're a producer, not a consumer when it comes to social media. Okay, and make sure, guys, you're also networking as well. Look for things that are happening around you, people doing the similar things as you, or people who are trying to develop the same mindsets as you. All right, all are very important, because your network is where you do your best work. I'm not trying to rhyme, but with people who are motivating you every day. Remember, I mentioned the support system, and people who are actually trying to succeed as well. These are the things that can easily raise the levels of whatever you're trying to accomplish, right? And that's very important, right? So don't take it for granted. People who are not trying to do these things, it's important you cut them off, because they'll always distract you. They'll always lead you somewhere you don't want to go. Next thing you know, you've forgotten about your goals, or you've put your goals aside just because you're hanging out with the wrong people. All right, so if you want to give it your all, do exactly what I said in terms of networking. Okay, so the next thing I want to mention is basically securing opportunities when it comes to soccer academies, right? If you want to be able to, you're trying to become a footballer, or you're trying to improve your football, the fact of the matter is you need to be playing football regularly, right? So basically, nowadays, when it comes to football, it's basically a political type of thing, right? Obviously, you need to have the ability to get into those academies, but most of the time, if you want to get in as well, it's not just about ability, and most people forget this, and most people look over this. You also have to be aware of the politics involved, right? You need people who are able to talk to other people and link you to someone so that they can actually take a good look at you, or actually recommend you to someone else. You know what I'm saying? It's people who basically make things happen for you, right? Which was the thing I was mentioning about networking. But in this case, if your dad or someone like that basically has connections to the coach or whatnot, who can do a networking thing for you and set you up with another coach, stuff like that. These are things that can basically help you progress further in your goals, right? There are things you can put in the work on the field and off the field, but they also need to put in the work behind the scenes. I mentioned this in my other video. I went into depth, so I'm not going to go into depth now, but you need to put in the work behind the scenes, and that will definitely push you further than you even realize. As you're working hard on yourself, all of a sudden someone is pushing you further and you don't even know, right? And more opportunities and more doors open up for you. Okay, so the next point I want to mention now is basically building your physical and mental endurance, right? So obviously, you need to be working on the physical aspect of your body, and basically be mentally trained. I touched on this before, right? But guys, make sure, there are a lot of guys that say they're going to train, right? And when they're training, they're doing this lousy ass drills that don't actually push them to the limit. And when it now comes to the game, they're now thinking oh, why aren't I doing my best? Why aren't I playing well as I did in training? No, because your training sessions that you're doing by yourself are actually nothing. You're not working on anything. You're just kicking the ball. That's what it is. You're just kicking the ball. What are you actually aiming for during your training sessions? Are you working on agility? Are you working on stamina? Are you working on speed? Are you working on control? Are you working on, do you know what I'm saying? You need to understand, you need to have a goal, you need to have a target, and actually plan it properly, right? So that when you're physically in shape in those aspects, it's easy for you to apply yourself and give it your all in those things, right? And in terms of mental endurance, right, guys, You know, these are some practical tips you do. Every morning I basically meditate, right? And this has honestly allowed me to focus, right? So you need to practice meditation. Start with 5 minutes, start with 2 minutes even. 2 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Now me personally, I do 30 minutes of meditation, you know, and it's allowed me to focus on the rest of the day, right? I have this like mental clarity after I do meditate. Sometimes when I don't meditate, I feel a little bit on edge. You know, it comes to a point where I have to meditate so I can focus now, because, you know, it's like, it just helps clear my mind. It helps remove everything and just focus on, I just think about the things I have to do, and like my emotions are just, okay, this is the beginning of the day, let's get started. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. You know, there are also things like visualization. I talk about this in my other videos as well. You know, things like visualization that can help you, mindfulness, how to manage stress. These are all things I mentioned in my previous videos as well. You know, these are all things that can help build that mental endurance you need to be able to conquer the day, and also not feel burnt out, not feel like, okay, I'm happy with what I've done, on to the next day, I go again. You know, these are all things you can do. Right, so guys, to conclude, you know, again, you have to give it your all right? This is the sign, right? I've given you as much information as you could possibly need to be able to give it your all, and basically take some steps that you can easily apply, all right, to yourself and to whatever you're trying to do, especially with soccer, right? So look into this, all right? And guys, if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You know, turn on the post notifications so you're aware when I post more videos, you know, and I'll see you in the next one.